In this module, we're going to look at how Catholic social thought views rights and responsibilities of individuals to society and society to the individual. The notion of a right is similar in Catholic social theory to the modern liberal democratic idea that most of you are probably very used to. Individuals have rights that they can claim in relation to society. Rights are violated when individuals cannot access or are prevented from accessing social goods and resources. So, in the United States, the Declaration of Independence declares that citizens have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When those rights are violated, the person can go to court and claim those rights in relation to the state or in relation to other individuals who have violated those rights. In addition, in the U.S., the Bill of Rights of the U.S. Constitution preserves the rights of liberty and property, which include the following: freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, freedom of association, and freedom to bear arms. Rights in Catholic social thought are a much later development. Rights as they are proposed in the United States this list was developed at the end of the 18th century. Catholic social thought begins to be developed at the end of the 19th century, 100 years later, and has been under continual development since then. So it's a much later and more developed notion of the idea of rights. So it has a greatly expanded list of rights. The expectations are much higher for the state to protect and care for citizens. And this is a quote from Gaudium et Spes, giving you an idea of this expanded idea of rights. Remember the limited list that we've just seen from the U.S. of about 7 or 8 different items. Here, there is a growing awareness of the sublime dignity of human persons who stand above all things and whose rights and duties are universal and inviolable. They ought therefore to have ready access to all that is necessary for living a genuine human life. For example, food, clothing, housing, the right to freely choose their state of life and set up a family, the right to education, work, to their good name, to respect, to proper knowledge, the right to act according to the dictates of conscience and to safeguard their privacy, and rightful freedom, including freedom of religion. You can see here we've got a much more developed understanding of what's a right. Unlike modern liberal notions of rights, Catholic social theory demands that individuals behave responsibly towards society. So every right has a corresponding responsibility. Society is responsible for upholding the rights of citizens, but citizens have corresponding responsibilities to society. Therefore, if I have a right to health care, I have a corresponding responsibility to maintain my health to the best of my ability. Why? Because everyone else is paying for my health care or is providing for my health care. And therefore, I am placing undue stress on society if I don't maintain my health. I am doing an injustice to everyone else. Likewise, if I have a right to a just wage, I have a responsibility to earn that wage to the best of my abilities, to work hard. The social contract demands something from both parties, from both the state and the individual. Here are finally some quotes from Pacem in Terris, which is one of the papal encyclicals that first really defines and develops this idea of rights within Catholic social thought. The natural rights with which we have been dealing are inseparably connected in the very person who is their subject, with just as many respective duties. And rights, as well as duties, find their source, their sustenance, and their inviolability in the natural law, which grants or enjoins them. Those, therefore, who claim their own rights yet altogether neglect to carry out their respective duties, are people who build with one hand and destroy with the other. Since men are social by nature, they are meant to live with others and to work for one another's welfare. A well-ordered human society requires that men recognize and observe their mutual rights and duties. It also demands that each contribute generously to the establishment of a civic order in which rights and duties are more sincerely and effectively acknowledged and fulfilled. Finally, it's not enough, for example, to acknowledge and respect every man's right to the means of sustenance if we do not strive to the best of our ability for the sufficient supply of what is necessary for his sustenance. This is a basic introduction to how the Catholic Church understands rights and individual responsibilities in a society.